Hello everyone, it's Caleb Law 1, and today I'm here to do a rereading of one of my fanfics, An Immortal God and His Destined Ones. Disclaimer: I don't own Dragon Ball Z, Sakurai, or Ghost Nappa. They're all owned by their respective manga artists, anime companies. Ghost Nappa is owned by Team 4-Star. Bastard author's note: if a day ever comes where I trip over a ridiculous looking rock and I'm forced to choose between either moving or losing my head to laugh at that rock, then I'll definitely choose decapitation for a good laugh. Hey, if I die, then I die. Besides, we're all gonna die someday, so whatever. At least I die grinning. Now, on to the first chapter. Bastard author's note 2, the sequel. Also, I wrote, typed, whatever, the story is a joke, especially the first and second chapters. So everything wrong with it is 100% intentional. These first two chapters are basically what the inside of my head looks like on an average day. If this chapter offends any of the readers, then get over it, say sub XD. Bastard Author's Note 3, Revenge of the Bastard Author's Note. Why? My name is Jugum Shit Tossing the Life of Shin Chan's 2-day-old underwear bowel monk is Alion. Isaac Schneider, 1/3 true love, 2/3 hangnail anxiety. Betrayal knows my name, or does it really? Ignore calls. Squid, dogfish, halibut, trout. Cod, dogfish. This is a different dogfish. I'm talking about the dogfish shark. Kaluga ray, ute, meow, kimiku. Pepe, 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 pepe. Ronnie Daria. Okay, no, seriously though, enough with the Gintama references. On to the story. Chapter -0.0000001. Prologue. Gay. Arrival. Saiyan versus Sakurai. And everything horrible in this world, all summed up in this chapter for your viewing pleasure. Goku had been watching over planet Earth for 3,999,999,373 of its 4 billion years in existence, eventually becoming an immortal, omnipotent god and gaining immortality from doing so because he's edgy. It was concept to my groin's gingivitis, which, no matter how mathematical it might sound off the top of my washing machine, was the truth of this. Cis. My teeth are incest. In the mall, someone's baby started crying. Outraged, the mother started shit-talking it for interrupting her, quote, shopping time, unquote. This, in turn, got the surrounding people to come over and shit-talk the baby, too. Soon, the mother started beating the crying baby. This got the crowd of surrounding people excited, so they all formed a mob and took turns hitting the baby. One dude even whacked said baby in the throat with a dildo. The mob then took some torches and lit the baby on fire, turning it into a black baby. After that, it never cried again. I'm horny all the time because I'm into humans and I'm a human. However, I'm flexible enough to suck myself off. So I do. Then I get horny again. I raped a blind 3-year-old girl out in public. She cried, so I laughed and ate her shit, thus becoming the Scatman 2.0. Then I unhinged my jaw and shoved the 3-year-old into my mouth. Then she somehow sucked my bowels while I was swallowing her head first. While I was slowly voring her down my throat, her mom came up to me and ate out her 3-year-old little girl's unswallowed snatch. Then I devoured the 3-year-old little girl's lower body, and her dad comes up to me and told me that watching that will be hot. Lols. Kaka Krabby Patty, Christian Stewart, and the Minnie Mo Howard went back in time, but not as stupid, crying, stinking, pooping babies. They then drove their 69 Chevy Impalas while hacking magical circuits to break into others' paintings. While in the middle of driving, he turned to the viewer, breaking the fourth wall, and started complaining about the fake news system, as well as how Kentucky Fried Chicken has gone down the crapper ever since the original owner died and was replaced. They used to serve chicken 3 times bigger back then in the same size bucket, which bulged. Also, the people who died in 9/11 may have been good people, but I'm willing to bet that at least a few of them were assholes when they were younger. So those particular fuckers got what they deserved. As do B. Bzlakoi 1 and 8. I had to Bzoloi $ asterisk A. Applesfu Sai Kamami A. Maro Eswutu Sus Espanol Agatum was K comma question mark. Sawi and D. Uk Spulpaloid Smile Boabs Finner Dodunks Tylet Wetter and Ma Sanst Smoy and Munzi $ period. Eyes Arufis see my money's $ explanation mark. Fuck you, Grandma. I cucked hard dundu dim starsies. XD. Lolly. Ewy suck. Grand my. Akdarf. Atom. Snoifu. Semicolon. Pekabrk. Plus Gewatades. Tittlebugzuffen. Smo one ashu. And tsunami. I. Ego. Bronchosadia. Aniel. Patrinatinoi. Smidigiamagolds. Acts 3, parentheses. Zabav. Scamlum. Say troglodyte. Anjume, comma, period, C. Must the two, ba, and explanation mark, dizno, wacken. Period, not, or believe, to choose, is, do, can we all, comma, die, we, until, space, period, space. Unknown, the, of, doubt, nagging, that always there, but, space, comma, atheist, atheist, there, say, they. Fuck the school principal. Actually, at that age, I'd probably have tried killing her. I did that with one of my high school teachers. I also threw a desk across the classroom in the middle school when this teacher decided to punish the whole class for something that no one admitted doing. Then I stormed out. She grabbed onto my arm and I threw a punch at her. Then I grew up and discovered the meaning of life, changing me forever. A proud warrior's heart, though I still have. I just figured out how to rein it in for when it's actually needed or wanted like against people like Miss Burowicz, instead of causing senseless violence to anyone who even insults me. And that's how I went from a deranged madman to a harmless, though still completely batshit insane person. Happy face. While a woman in prison was getting electrocuted because of death sentence, I suddenly ran into the room, pulled my pants down, and started violating her spasming, writhing body with my dick before jizzing on her screaming form. Then the cops ran to give AIDS to the woman and threw me out of the building before saying that I would be in the chair if I ever pulled something like that again. They also said that they'd have arrested me on the spot if not for me paying the sheriff and police chief to look the other way when I pulled shit like this. They looked very pissed off. My ass was sticking up in the air from when I got thrown out, so I decided to fart loudly in response. They seemed like they were about to reach for their guns, thought better of it, and just sighed before going back inside. In some other part of the world, a guy was hanged while he still had an erection. So gay, Luigi. Put a ring on the dead guy's still horny dick and gave the dead man butt sex, butt sex. Then the dead guy's horny dick screamed out of its pee hole. Anyway, Goku had no complaints in becoming a patronizing Pingus. And he was a monoboob. Noob. Actually, the world had been saved from planet-destroying beings that had tried to flagellate men's, quote, flagpoles, unquote, for such a long time. However, none of them were fat enough to hit Goku, with the exception of Cell's second form, when he became a fat ass and blew himself up. Big boom make author happy. Your voice is like hearing an angel's penis shriek. 4 shotguns for legs, a vampiric elephant has. Captain Failure scared a bunch of pants and was a Wang's excrement before he died insanely. Meanwhile, Spider-Ma, a.k.a. Aunt May, dropped her spider suit butt flap and started shaking her wrinkly old arse on national television in America. Everyone who was watching obtained gonorrhea and died instantly. My bollocks have bloody knives in them. Ah, my precious. A voluptuous ass drinking Dasani. Wee. About 2,000 years ago, Adolf Hitler and the crack addict known as Abraham Lincoln's unidentifiable imaginary boulder teamed up and fondled Germerica. Exploding Pigeons, a story of hope, Shaq's Laundry, and exploding pigeons. I searched every hook and granny. A look of deep constipation appeared on my fecal matter until a baby turd popped out of it a few minutes later. Shitception. When Goku says it's jobs, I think it's lulz. On the day of the Passover, Michael Jackson said, "This bread is my body. Take, eat. Oh God, my bread flesh! It hurts so bad! Oh!" Rip. Rest in peace. Billy. The salesman, completely unrelated to the pedo-singing rapist Maze. Billy Mays. Eaten by bread-crazed cannibals for your sins. The sound of a duck farting was then heard. The floating, disembodied head of Princess Steve then hung a religious ball sack in a parking garage. A ferret's dick then detached itself from the animal's body before slamming into an empire, thereby penetrating it and causing it to sink into the ocean. I inserted a cartridge into the slot of my sexual Nintendo. I'm going to eat a piece of toast now, Goku thought to himself. So he walked over to the toaster and placed a piece of bread into it. 30 seconds later, it popped out of the toaster at a ridiculous speed and partially lodged itself into Goku's skull. After a few seconds of silence, his eyes widened and crossed comically as he screamed in pain. Toast, it wants to kill you. Otters. What in the hell are you two doing, you motherfuckers? A very old and familiar, for those who've read or listened to the fanfiction by Immortal, voice shouted. Just then, a horny Teletubby wielding a crowbar and Dumbledore, aka Dumbledore, appeared in front of Goku and said in a creepy, gruff male voice, I'm a 13-year-old girl. Want a cyber? No! A fat, pregnant, and hairy dude wearing a hyper-realistic bikini wheezed out of an aquamarine horse rapist in heavy weapons guy's voice while shoving Goku's face into his ass crack and shitting, which Goku thought was deciduous as opposed to coniferous, lols, as he devoured it with gusto. Oh my, I hope the children. He was cut off by a random sword that was flying through the air as it sliced his head off, as X's appeared over his eyes, while Team Fortress heavy weapons guy's voice in the background said, Dead! At this, a random crowd of people in a random movie theater cheered and clapped vigorously as they excitedly shouted in the grunts' voices from Halo when you get a headshot with the birthday party skull turned on. Hooray! I'm sorry for the existence of number 666. The devil, which turns out is actually a morbidly obese, nasally voiced, neck-bearded slug made entirely of shit, sucks in my fireplace. Goku snapped his fingers, and the bikini-clad man's vaginal head returned. He then ate lunch with his genital hands. Genitals, pope, 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 Mr. Popo. Ah! Goku screamed after a few seconds of silence while consuming chloroform before his head exploded into 1,000 Reese's Pieces. The liberals then invoked Santa Claus, and King George the Turd became an obtuse angle. Yaw! The Teletubby roared in heavy weapons guy's voice from Team Fortress before putting Dumbledore on its shoulder and shouting, Dumbledore, launcher. Only your mom's smelly, maggot-infested carcass can eat a dong. There's no dick under her bed, just dick under her bed. Woo. Then elongated, fatty tears fell from my please insert one random word to continue. Bitch. Anyway, it then flung the headmaster of Hogwarts towards Goku and the man in a bloated Power Ranger's bikini. When Dimple Dong's face touched them inappropriately, the sound of a squeaky toy was heard. The old geezer then made love to himself before vanishing back into the invisible, horny Harry Potter phonograph that he carried with him at all times. He was then shagged by a magical hippopotamus and a fornicating spider. The man, who was sitting on Goku's face before it exploded, was now making monkey noises as he started sliding down Goku's now visible spine by his ass crack. Suddenly, a new head shot up from Goku's spine, and the guy in the bikini was blasted into the air. He flapped his arms uselessly before falling onto a massive afro sea plant in the middle of hell. He tried to eat the plant, but he only ended up choking on hair follicles and dying. The devil then dressed him up like a maid and proceeded to shove a pineapple up his arse. The The Teletubby then slobbered on a male midget before laughing hysterically. As the Teletubby was laughing, it saw the midget stick its hand up his ass before pulling it back out, along with the guitar in its firm grasp. This caused the Teletubby to abruptly stop laughing. "Oh no," the Teletubby mumbled in Spy's voice, also from Team Fortress, before shouting in pain from being hit several times with the guitar. "Oh! Ow! Ack! Wah!" That bloody act of violence was brought to you by cheese, the number one cause of guitar-related violence everywhere. After the brutal beating, the Teletubby stood up and stared blankly at Goku, who returned it with a stare of his own. After a few moments of the staring contest, Goku hopped out a blob of acid onto the Teletubby's face. The Teletubby screamed from the excruciating pain it was in, as its face melted until its skull was visible. "Excellent!" A fat zombie, which appeared as soon as the Teletubby's face had finished melting off, exclaimed in a stereotypical surfer's accent before pulling a guitar out of his vents and playing the song Through the Fire and Flames. A sword-wielding skeleton wearing a miniskirt then started dancing. In the middle of the dance, the miniature head of Robotnik popped out of the crotch area of the miniskirt and shouted, "Pangus!" Then a nuke exploded. A few seconds after the explosion, a cooking pot fell onto the ground with a dull clang. I shot a little girl's parents and kicked their dead bodies while she was watching. In America, the Kraken emerged from the ocean. It quickly made its way over to the Empire State Building and started having sex with it. The building moaned and ejaculated out of its roof, killing a bunch of American people, a transsexual Islamic terrorist, and an alien. The alien, which had been disguised as a human before it was killed by the ocean of jizz, was then brutally violated by a horny, species-confused priest carrying a mallet and a ball sack in a little plastic baggie. My OC, Cameron Cooper, got a blumpkin, then said, "A mallet-wielding eunuch. How original." Clap! Only for the sword that was flying in the air from earlier to slice his head off too. Thus I killed off my own OC because OCs fucking suck. Also, the new Broly can beat the shit out of any fucking worthless OC and is also more awesome than any of them, so people should start using him in their stories instead. That's how you should know the true meaning behind my name, Goku. "But isn't that what Sarah's paid for?" Goku asked me. "Yeah, Goku, Sarah's paid for having dirty teeth." "So porn is paid to be a person?" he inquired farther. "Pretty much, Goku." Meanwhile, in the Galar region of the Pokeverse, David, once again amongst the living, made his way to the Galar region in the hopes of starting anew. Since he was once again without a Pokemon, he stole a Pokeball and set out to locate and capture one. Dave soon found a Hatterene and caught it. After journeying for a long-ass time, Dave was almost certain that he was going to die of hypothermia while in the middle of the vicious thunderstorm to end all vicious thunderstorms again. He then looked at his Hatterene longingly, and he slowly started to notice the bulge quickly rising in his pants. "Hatterene, you know that I'm your trainer, your Meister, right?" Dave asked his Pokemon while also remembering Jason Stifler, aka the Stiff Meister, from the American Pie series in a humorous light. Hat. She responded affirmatively. As your trainer, you know that I'd never do anything to hurt you, correct? Dave continued as he eyed his Hatterene hungrily. Hat. Came the affirmative reply of his Pokemon once again. And you'd do anything for me, right? Dave asked sinisterly as he ran his hand down to his Hatterene's posterior and squeezed. Finally, beginning to get an idea of where this might be going, a look of fear came across the Pokemon's face. YOLO! Someone shouted, startling them both before Dave's brains were suddenly ejected from his skull as a .50 caliber bullet caused it to explode in a vortex of gore. Suddenly, I came out of a bush, in more ways than one, on a scooter, whilst holding a ridiculously massive .50 caliber gun in one hand, and my undergarments in the other. I then dropped the aforementioned undergarments on the ground, grabbed Hatterene, and deposited her ass first onto my dick, while still shooting the .50 caliber gun like a madman. Then I ran out of bullets. Suddenly, I yanked my dick out of her arsehole and proceeded to lick the shit off my dick, thanks to my ridiculous flexibility. Fun fact number 3. In all seriousness, I am actually flexible enough to suck myself off. It was a high school bet more than 15 years ago. Don't ask more because there's literally nothing more to tell. Apart from one of the guys who witnessed my accomplishment saying that he wished that he could do that, it's actually not as fun as one might imagine it to be. If anything, it's just really awkward. Anyway, I then kissed Hatterene and used my tongue to deposit her own blood and fecal matter back into her mouth. Then I puked into her mouth because shit tastes like, well, shit. Then I Mario jumped over her head whilst peeing on her in the process, drenching the Pokemon's upper body, face, head, and hair in piss before I landed on a flagpole with the .50 caliber gun shoved right up my big fucking arse. Fuck you. You're a fucking wanker. We're gonna pound you right in the balls. Fuck you with the fucking .50 caliber. You're all cunt, so fuck you all wank. Then Hatterene and the scooter she was riding on got squishied by 150 semi-trucks. And Dave, well, the dirtbag's headless body went on to win the Galarian Pac-Man League after having beaten and raped the rest of the Pokemon of his into a traumatized submission. At the awards ceremony, for him, everyone there sang, "Here he is, the biggest douche of the universe and all of the galaxies. There's no bigger douche than you. You've reached the top, the pinnacle of douchedom. Good going, douche. Your dreams have come true." And then he raped a pony, Ta. It whinnied and burned him, well, his headless body anyway, to a crisp with a fire blast attack. Suddenly, the pony Ta shat out its intestines and died, but not before dragging itself 30 feet away with its forelegs, leaving a streak of blood and shit in its wake. In the world of shitty ponies, this purple, sparkly horse princess felt a disturbance in the force. Upon closer inspection, she got the Pokemans and trained them on the railroad tracks before barfing a rainbow out of her tongue. It was a tongue much like the Chosen One's tongue in that movie, Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Then a haunter, which turned out to be Dave's spirit, appeared and tried to hit her. Of course, he failed miserably, as he was incorporeal and thus had no physical body parts to hit her with. Realizing this, he used the move Curse, and she died. Then he possessed her body and proceeded to use his host's long horn to violate all of the worthless ponies with, before also using it to gore them to death with. While busy with laughing maniacally, the sun fell on him, frying him instantly again. Dave then went to hell. But Stan, who was Satan's third cousin twice removed, accidentally summoned him back to the Pokeverse for the second time, only this time as a horny-ass demon. Demon Dave suddenly stopped to consider that he'd gotten 3 lives so far. He then wondered if he could make it to 9 before Satan replaced his failure of a third cousin twice removed, Stan. Is no way e r 3 ev 3 2 Sider D T E E S W W A N Itakan Wajaja So Jajawa Ilk Sida 3 Gin Giatirolja Oyo Smeagol Sifo Wali Oi Ben Seek Who in Jawa when Mia did a care 7HG 8G 76 HU faggot Nuxier NNKU Hunja Bibi Snow Wamasanofoi Iliakil Undi Ejinidi Faz Mirsva Isisajri Ik Itinsig Zukada Wooden's 9 I can S Zijida Odd Kizzy Grizzy Convixy Gary fucking Oak. The Dave Demon said in a language that Wilfred Brimley didn't understand before they both went back to ass raping Wilfred's ancient liver spotted doctor. And thus the fanfic called Rectified Anatomy, aka the Pixie Man Story 2.0 was born. Well. Now back to the Sakurai verse. However, one day in the year of 1999 AD, an unnatural land formation seemed to suddenly appear out of nowhere in the waters of Japan. Big ballistic nutsacks are fuzzy to the constipation. While this usually wouldn't be any cause for concern, life forms that were significantly more powerful than any human in this time period had suddenly appeared on this new island upon its appearance. This island would eventually be known as Kamikura Island, and this island was an island. Silent. Woo. On top of that, the Saiyan originally felt the power levels were coming from inside of my mom's panties. Narf. Goku thought he could handle a relationship with the Sakurai like he stuck his chainsaw up his ass, so he isn't sure of himself to be as worthy. 5 minutes passed time, and he felt the turtle pushing at his asshole, and his boner went all the way back into his. It was the silent way of the yes. The next day, he found the necessary amount of time to get naughty on his indecipherable expression. How long has it been since someone from another planet has come here? Goku mused idly at the current development, but he quickly turned his attention to a chicken that was, quote, choking its chicken, unquote, on the island. Even though chickens are female and don't have male genitalia in the first place. Actually, hens are female chickens, but I just don't give two shits, lols. I think they'll need my help on this new development, in case things go south, Goku thought to himself while teabagging the deceased Teletubby. After all, he was a protractor of planet Earth, and an all-powerful entity who loved chicken meat. Eat cultists of lol, my dong must. I made like a cactus to get an entire eyebrow out of my eye. Me stupid cave-dwelling dumbass. Me must take big dump on naked money. I use rat condoms and lard for welding bug rectums shot to keep Satan from infecting people. Hablar amigo hoy mate. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Samuel L. Jackson yelled in my face. No, I only speak Spanish and Japanese. Jackson facepalmed before yelling, you clueless, mindless, useless, lousy. So I shoved a dancing banana up his arse. He screamed in pain before the banana, still stuck up Jackson's rectum, danced over to the Grand Canyon and jumped off, taking Jackson with it. Play the sad song, Only Time by Enya. RIP. Samuel L. Jackson. Killed by a banana. Oh! Obama suddenly shouted while wearing overly large glasses with googly eyes attached by springs, abruptly cutting off the song. Gunther, Ding Dong Song. Zelda CDI style. Ooh, you touch my squadilla. My ding ding da dongo. Ooh, you touch my squadilla. My ding ding da dongo. Deep in the night, I am looking for some toast. Deep in the night, I am looking for some spaghetti. Deep in the night, I am looking for some toast. Deep in the night, I am looking for some pangas. You scrub me. Oh, please me. I want you to be my lamp oil. Come near me. Don't save me. I just can't get enough of you, my boy. Ooh, you touch my squadilla. My ding ding da dongo. Ooh, you touch my squadilla. My ding ding da dongo. Song end. Comma dragons. Not too long after that, the island was discovered by a naked married couple whose names were Minaka Hiroto and Takami Sahashi. My teacher once told me the importance of discovering this island. Minaka told Takami, flashback, it will be important. Minaka's teacher stated, flashback end. To Takami's surprise, there was no Flakanaka hilification to her husband's claim. For once, Minaka wasn't spouting complete garbage, as this island would indeed be the key to his future success. Oh, and yes, Flakanaka hilification is an actual word. Don't believe me? Then look it up or something. The first time they had sex, Minaka's dick flung sperm at his wife at the end of their lovemaking session, 10 years and 3.5 dead clowns later, and this is a run-on sentence. Because they didn't want a kid at that time, Minaka scrubbed Kami's vagina with their dog. Following that, over 100 Mexican hobo brothers in a tiny clown car suddenly exploded. Snot flowed out of the only surviving brother's Jew nose, and he sobbed uncontrollably because his guitar was destroyed in the explosion. Get your very own bazooka for absolutely free. Just pay me all your cash. You can keep the onions, though. Otherwise, a horrifically confused amoeba will crack your face open. Your mom will then make a fat arse some soup from your brains, and he'll jizz before drinking all the sphincter zits from your life. I guarantee it. Figuratively. Carcat, who's 8 years old, was then beaten and tortured by a random guy who had broken into her home. The man then dismembered her cat and cut off one of its murder legs. Just as he was about to cut off its second leg, a neighbor walked in on the scene. After a few moments of silence, the neighbor asked, "Hey dude, can I join in on the fun?" "Hell yeah," the random intruder guy said. They then skinned the cat alive. Next, they each stuck their index fingers up its arse and shoved them into its nostrils. Following this, they ran their dicks through its nostrils and into its brain before jizzing. Now that the two men's dicks were covered in brain matter, blood, shit, and jizz, they poured beer on their own dicks as the coup de grace. As a result, their dicks started to burn. Then the neighbor put two pieces of bread on either side of his brain-coated, shit-covered, jizz-stained, snot-soaked, beer-drenched, bloody, burning dick and ate it. The intruder cried in arousal before rolling around in the neighbor's bodily fluids and sucking his decapitated dick off. Blood sprayed in the intruder's mouth and he puked. The neighbor then ate the intruder's bloody vomit with a side of fly eggs, centipedes, and hairballs. He washed it all down with liquid sewage. Suddenly, the neighbor got tired and sat on the random male intruder's face for relief. The random guy then said that he couldn't breathe, so the neighbor gave him air by farting into his nose. He took one breath, then two breaths, then three breaths, then four breaths, then five. Okay, that's enough of recounting every little action that he was doing. Besides, I'm 50% certain that the joke's not funny unless someone who's riffing on such mistakes is the one pointing it out like that. Anyway, then a perverted female peg earthcorn pony, Princess Lunati, appeared before them. The random guy, whose face was being used as a pillow at the moment, rammed his half-eaten dick into the female's alicorn's arse. In response, she's saying, "You got a friend in me," from the movie Toy Story. Next, Lunati shoved her horn into the mouth of Carcat's mutilated corpse. Finally, the neighbor grabbed the tail of the cat's skinless carcass. He also started fucking the roach-infested skeleton of his deceased great-granny, which reeked and was covered in fungi. How he pulled the skeleton out of thin air is anyone's guess, as is the skull kid that popped out of the skeleton's snatch. Now that they were all physically connected, the six of them suddenly started to glow before a blinding light filled the entire house. When the light dissipated, the six had combined to form the ultimate sex machine. Then a breeze gave it AIDS, and they all died a few seconds later. The skull kid then smoked weed, which made his boner grow 100 times its normal size. The skull kid then died from weed poisoning because weed kills human skeleton hybrids in this story. In Equestria, a fully grown Princess Twilight Sparkle tried to pouch a newborn foal when none of the ponies were looking in her direction. Unfortunately for her, God suddenly told all of them to look at Twilight right when she hit the baby. She was then thrown into jail, where she was raped by her creepy male human cellmate. The man's name is Taizo Hasegawa, but everyone just calls him Madeo, short for middle-aged dumbass oldie. Once done, Twilight Sparkle's cellmate then slammed a table onto her head, Both her skull and the table shattered. Poor table. What did the table ever do to the walrus? At twilight, Spanker was dying, she said. I love you, Madeo. If you truly love me, then eat me. In response, he shed not one, but 1.5 manly tears before saying, fuck you, sweat. And the readers who are wondering whether or not the letters W and L are close to each other on the keyboard, well, they're not. Lols. Madeo then laughed at the mare before breaking her spine and stabbing himself to death with it. However, he resurrected himself before breaking out of jail and raping, killing off the rest of the main six along with Princess Celestia. Then they all flew to Hawaii. Aw, he's a door. Wait a minute. If those ponies are dead, then how did they all fly to Hawaii? Also, don't you mean to say that he's adorable instead of a door and Twilight Spanker? Really? Goku asked me. Simple, Goku. The Madeo, who somehow acquired the ability to bring himself back to life and fly, tied them all to his ankles with some rope he made out of intestines before rocketing through the sky. Well, sort of. You see, they were really heavy, so he was only able to fly a few feet off the ground. This meant that their stupid faces were constantly being mashed into the asphalt. Also, no, he is now a male door, and yes, really P-face. You're demented, Arthur. I should slap some sense into you. Goku bellowed angrily. You can't unrape the horses. He smirked before saying, I'm all powerful. Remember, I can do whatever I want. True, but that only applies in the story. You mad, Goku? Lol, 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 lol. Ha! How's that for not being all powerful outside the story? He remarked after punching me through the wall of my house. When he received no response, he pulled me out of the wall before noticing that I was no longer conscious. Therefore, he healed me. Well? He asked. Remind me to never piss you off again, which is a lie, lols. Goku sighed in exasperation before frowning in confusion. Also, how did they get to Hawaii if they were in Equestria? He asked me, because, fuck logic. Meh, fair enough, he said before flying off to the Kamakura Island rest stop to get some Z's. After purchasing Z's from the store at the rest stop, Goku went back to the world of the Kais and got some sleep. He dreamed about a gorilla in a Sailor Moon outfit beating Big Bird from the show Sesame Street to death in a WWF death match. When Big Bird died, the gorilla's cock started spinning uncontrollably in counterclockwise circles while the song You Spin Me Right Round played in the background. After a few seconds, the dick was spinning so fast that it propelled the gorilla through the roof and into the sky, though not before showering everyone in the entire stadium with cum. Unfortunately for them, the speed at which the gorilla's dick was spinning caused the jizz to shoot out with enough speed to blow a person to bloody pieces. Needless to say, everyone died. The heli dick then continued to fly the gorilla that it was attached to higher until it left the world's atmosphere and exploded. The gorilla died via freezing and suffocation at the same time, but not before one last turd exited its arse. That turd then flew into the sun, causing it to expand and vaporize planet Earth, along with everyone on it. The sun then blushed in embarrassment before it apologized. Excuse me. Then Goku woke up. Back in Equestria, Luna tried to hit the baby next, only for it to fire a massive laser beam out of its mouth. Only for it to fire a massive laser beam out of its mouth and disintegrate the Cornupega Earthia on the spot. The master chef, who had already taken the lunar pony princess's virginity from her many times in the past, then baked Luna's non-existent ashes until they became weed. Now that his wife was dead, virginity willingly gave himself to the master chef, only to be burnt and to ash and baked in the weed as well. He then smoked it and went on a killing spree, thus becoming the garden hose of doom. At the same time, in another dimension, Master Chief Petty Officer John 117 started dancing with a grunt before sneezing and destroying a tiny organism's microscopic orgasm. This caused a ridiculously large, massive black hole to appear. The black hole then became a planet of dongs. Everyone cheered before hailing Master Chief Petty Officer John 117 as the hero of cocks. A chicken then laid an egg and killed them all. A moment later, the egg hatched to reveal the troll face. They see me trolling, they hatin', patrolling, trying to catch me riding. Ah! My face died. Until the narrator finds his face, read this song from William Shakespeare. To be, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, liberty and justice for circumcision is the question mark. Times I want to be the very best, like no one ever was, squared to the power of things that I shouldn't do, such as my doctor and a walrus. Swiggity swooty, I am coming for the booty. For quality carpets, visit Kaplan's Carpet Warehouse. There's a place in France where naked ladies dance, a hole in the wall, and they can see it all. There was a 10-foot genie with a 10-foot pangas. Neckbeards are unholy, fat arse abominations. Glad. She thought sardinically. My man cucumber penetrated girl's 6.7 fish cavity. Do you find your prison cell stimulating? Students perversing oral history. Mein Sossenheiner, das Nein Wiener Schnozzle. I've traveled to a space station. It looks like a one-legged duck with tentacles bursting out of its arsehole. Douchebag's dick times 100. 1323 1 123 1323 1 23 1 1. Trumpet B flat chromatic scale fingerings. When you're dead, I won't care because I'll still be alive. I shouldn't be singing when there are experiments to be done on the people who are still alive. I wipe my arse on the carpet to mark my territory. A cat being tortured by an alien that looks a lot like Rob Schneider mixed with Bill Murray. Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh from South Park forced himself down Steve Jobs' throat. Answer fancy blue question, bat, bird, meatball afternoon. Saturday, saturate, effing family jewels. Poop, mayonnaise, brain, literature, flies, goo, filling loon, dick. Submarine, 49ers, definitely escape, priceless, gibberish, Japanese, massive condoms, nom, 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 nom. Smoke weed every day. Chinese ambassador, Ching Chang Hyang Ping Pong, brutally murdered Rosie O'Donnell. Washi witty wishi ai wishu. Or whatever in Japanese. Schnell mein Dummkopf. Schnitzelheimer. Old Man Dick Butt and Mr. Hands endorse ISIS. The guy killed 58 people and wounded over 500 in Las Vegas before killing himself. And the motive was just to piss people off and obtain the ultimate title of the legendary Super Troll. Pornhub, Angry Birds, Google Maps, take a shot, take a cum shot. I then started spraying diarrhea out of my ass. So I rolled over to one side before rolling back to the other side to become a human shit sprinkler. Then I saw a female cyclops, so I punched it in the face until it fell into a coma. This meant that God, praise be, had just gifted me with a glorious opportunity to explore every part of the cyclops' disabled body. Naturally, I stared blankly at the now mentally and physically disabled cyclops before laughing and butt-fucking it. Then I tied it to a tiny fan and watched it spin in circles before it died. So I ate the Cyclops for dinner, with the exception of its eye, which I made into a condom for my massive dong. Hello, I'm Justin Bieber, and I like kissing dinosaur testicles. The Twilight series, and using my dick to brutally rape and beat small children to death with. Oh shit, ah! Fortunately, the author just murdered me. Now he's raping my dead corpse and attacking an alligator. Okay, I, the author, am back. Anyway, upon descending, discovering Kamakura Island, Minaka and Takami, ate a pain gas. Oh, just kidding. Upon discovering the place, they found 107 extraterrestrial eggs and one extraterrestrial adult female. The Sakurai egg used testicle flip. Malka's scrotum was turned upside down. They lathered the eggs in salt and pepper. Then the development of the Sakurai plant began to crack an ass marshmallow with titty sprinkles. I don't understand what they're doing with my cheese. Goku said and pointed to two twos. No. He pointed to a bunch of guys humping his pack of cheese. Then one of them turned around and farted before farting into his eyes and saying, "I'm a cheese knife." Elsewhere, a pregnant woman put a hand on her belly and felt an idiot. Within her belly resided a baby with 4 giant buck teeth that made it look like a retarded cartoon character. "Durr!" it shouted idiotically inside of her womb. So the pregnant woman punched it because she was bored before calling upon Satan, which turned out to be Donald Duck. "Quack," she said, speaking the language of the space ducks. Upon hearing her, Donald Duck threw gonads at her and ate her baby, along with her stomach. She died, so he ate her too before disappearing in a cloud of smog in the form of fapping Ku Klux Klan members. Stop right there, criminal scum. You betrayed the law. It, comma, period, exclamation mark, question mark, ellipsis, colon, semicolon, happy face, almost Tim's time. Me, percentage, 2-4, now. I'm hungry, lols. Sad Goku. Wah! He baby cry like big baby is he? No. Storm and Tanger Slavinoff. I want God reviews. Suddenly, God and the yes-no option button appeared. God selected yes. No. God replied to me while sighing in exasperation, so I said okay in response with an idiotic-looking smile on my face. Poem. What a pragmatist. What's a pregnant tits? Goku asked me. Pragmatist, Goku, pragmatist. Pork and ribs? He asked salubriously. Pragmatist. Prego belly? Okay, you messed that one up on purpose, didn't you, Goku? Mess what up now? Never mind. Poem end. Anyway, everyone, the story that I hazmat the drove and followed building in a car before following building in a car. I went to see a tree and saw a tree, but I never saw a tree. I cut a tree. Yee, Goku's beaver bigger are than Justin Bieber's beaver jacking off. He laughs like a monkey and talks like a duck. He waddles around like he got fucked in the butt. Tree humper. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse, death, came and the jizz killed his horse. After a few moments of silence, Goku asked, "So, spaghetti and grasshoppers?" "That's correct, Goku." "Yay!" Goku happily shouted before throwing a car on top of a child and crushing it. 7 years, had passed same day since the day that Minaka and Takami had discovered Chemical Island. There hadn't been any aggressive actions by either humans or the most recent alien life forms to arrive on planet Earth, but not from George Mason. During one of these past seven years, however, an astronaut flew his NASA spaceship into the sun. By accident. Since the astronaut couldn't survive in such intense heat, he broke multiple natural laws of reality and immediately adapted. He now lives on the sun and consumes bouncing fireballs known as solar flares for sustenance. Suddenly he gave birth to a piano, which promptly disintegrated, and that's how unicorns came to be. I found myself in the concubines of a worm-eating retirement of menstruations. Her eyes started to mix with her voice. What, grammar? Fuck grammar. I'm going to beat the shit out of it. The fuck? Melodian didn't say. Kukuo did. The fuck? Kukuo didn't say. Melonhead did. Then a fucking prince goad up to themselves. I am the Prince of Fucktardinia. Prince Fuckelstein the 18th said. You destroyed our idol, the statue for the great shit. He said, now, you must die. and Zelda CDI YTP videos are hilarious. Then a bunch of fucked up elephants showed up and kicked all their asses all over Delaware. Buckelstein, "You are mine," Goku said. He climbed on a space shuttle, as did the prince. They flew into space. They started punching the shit out of each other. Goku punched the prince's funking balls off. Then, the huge fucking Star Destroyer showed up, and the pilots were stormtroopers George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and George W. Bush. Dion Goku pulled down the Star Destroyer like Stark's killer in Star Wars. Their figures unleashed. But there's no work on the bad guy. George Lucas wants to fight. George Lucas sent out George Lucas. Enemy George Lucas used Ice Beam. Critical damage. Enemy George Lucas uses Wind Burst. But this has no effect on Son Goku. Sans Goku uses Tail Whip on George Lucas. Enemy George Lucas has fainted. Spoolberger said he charged at Goku ready to rape. Steven Spielberg wants to fight. Steven Spoojberg said out Steven Spielberg. Enemy Setivan Spielberg used rape, but it has no effect. Son Goku used flail. Critical damage. You whine, Goku. Then Goku woke up. He was being carried away by elephants on a saddle made of pure shit. Prince flew from heaven. You rang? O positive said. Yes, I need to kill this piece of faggot fuck shit fucker fuck prince of a fuck. Son Goku said, lol, you suck. O positive betray X. Goku 11111. Can Goku defeat two princes? Yes. Both princes was defeated, but not killed, only raped. They have exotic skin, like the caramel amber of cocoa tree forests that span the width of Costa Rica, and hide thousands of daily, well-deserved rapes. I also have vermilion lips, like the violated anus of a kidnapped 11-year-old boy in the Jamaican human trafficking business, just like a fucking yob. In the Alps, there are rumors of evil, abominatory creatures. Snowman with a penis for a nose that penetrates men's asses and objectifies them. Just the thought of it was extremely revolting and disgusting. So like any good Samaritan, I vomited on my legs, exposing my healthy stomachal contents. Like hamburgers, toilet paper, eagle bones, rhinoceros shit, and miscarried fetuses. Wilfred Brimley will bomb Stockholm and kidnap some gay teenagers and give them diabetes. I put on my shorts made from captive domesticated huskies and ferrets whose nostrils were smashed and their entrails ripped off. Animals' rights are for men's rights activists. Any animal I see must be killed as violently as possible. Otherwise, their pagan satanic gods will get more power and destroy civilization. If you are with PETA and or like animals, then please commit suicide. Just then, I saw a woman, so I shoved my dick in her vagina, and a baby popped out. Seeing this, I pulled her tongue and heard the sound of a machine revving up and then turning on. Then another baby popped out of her snatch. And another. And another. And another. And another. And you get the idea. She was now a baby-making machine. Since I am so strong and muscular, I was certain that she'd pop out even stronger, strapping young babies from her pussy. Then a deformed baby popped out. So I bought a big city toilet from Billy Mays and shoved the aforementioned baby's head into it and kept it there until the ugly fucker had almost drowned. However, I suddenly needed to take a shit at the last minute, so I turned the wailing abomination over and shot into its mouth. The useless thing screamed, then became muffled gagging sounds. I then shoved my dick up the little freak's ass and started pumping furiously. As soon as it had finally suffocated to death, I blew my load all over the infant's insides. Then I flushed both the baby and the shit down the toilet before thanking Billy Mays, who is also where anything flushed down those toilets is brought to. After the call, Billy Mason used the baby monstrosity in my shit to make some big shitty slider burgers for an entire family. Goku had also slowly killed off all the sexually active faggots and dykes in the world, along with everyone who had written, aired anything involving homosexuality, because fuck them, lols. The only exceptions were those who had written stories or aired anything on TV, movies, radio that made fun of homosexuality. Also, no offense to any homosexuals out there. I don't hate anyone for being homosexuals. This isn't to be taken seriously. This is more like that gag from that movie, Epic Movie, where Michael Jackson tries to get a kid to come with him, only for the mother to run up from MJ from behind and throw him into a nearby dumpster. Now, where was I? Well, I try to remember where I was originally going with my previous train of thought. Feel free to go jack off or something. Intermission. Here it is. Then the homosexuals released their fag attack on me while shouting, "Release the powers, the fag powers from within, big gay dance!" For the second time in this chapter, I got knocked through a wall. How I preferred if it had been Goku to be the one that punched me through it again. At least then I wouldn't have been knocked through it by a gay guy's arse. I feel so violated. Then I got over it, lols. Anyways, just when Goku was about to finally accept that everything was okay, he suddenly felt a tug in his mind coming from Kamikura Island. The chicken had finally ejaculated. Oh, and a multitude of humans and the new alien arrivals were now charging straight towards each other. They fell to the ground because they were all having a stroke at the same time. Then they all got back up and resumed charging at each other. Even though the Earthlings' numbers were probably well over 1 million, while the extraterrestrials only had 5, the immortal, omnipotent, Saiyan God already knew what the outcome would be. Eat a baby. Ew, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Ew. Anyways, a completely one-sided mass extermination was not something that he was going to allow. So he shouted towards Alini in Japan, "Mushroom, mushroom, mushroom!" In HFIL, aka Home for Infinite Losers or Hell, Raditz whipped out his dick and started fucking his mother Jean. He was soon joined by a red muscular ogre, lathered in oil, who started fucking her in the arse. Chewbacca then walked over and shoved his big hairy cock in her mouth and started fucking her face. Next, Frieza began groping Jean's breast with his tail. Finally, Kid Buu turned all of them into candy and ate them, thereby completely erasing their existences, or at least until they melted together in the form of a massive grinning turd upon exiting Kid Buu's arse. Since it was the biggest turd he had ever dropped, Kid Buu put it in a trophy case so he could admire it for all of time without stinking up the place. Well, that's not good, Goku thought with a frown as he assessed the situation. I should probably hurry before anyone dies. Even though I am able to summon the mythical snow cone of Brosek Stacks discular flogging on my own, I'd rather not mess with the natural order. Actually, the natural order can go fuck itself for all I care. Pissing on your kid is good. Oh, I just lost my massive election. Hillary Clinton's sledgehammer dick. Goku mused before leaving the world of the Kais and entering the Earth's atmosphere on a small pink tricycle. Damn it. I'm going to have to cut off here.